Hi, this is Peter from GameOfTrades.net. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be covering Ethereum today, which is the cryptocurrency with the second largest market cap next to Bitcoin. And it's recently broken out to all-time highs. This was its 2018 all-time high. And you can see recently we had a bullish ascending triangle that we were covering with our members on the site right here with a nice support line, a nice resistance level, and there you have an impulsive breakout. And so far it's been making some crazy moves. So Ethereum is now at all-time highs with no price resistance above it. And so that's when you can start to get those parabolic moves on Ethereum. And I'm not just talking about this, I'm talking about potentially much higher highs on Ethereum. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. We're going to be talking about some targets for Ethereum over the next few weeks and why it's set to outperform Bitcoin over the coming weeks. Now that more people on YouTube are getting interested in cryptocurrencies, we are going to be making some updates on cryptocurrencies, especially Ethereum, every once in a while on this YouTube channel. If you like the idea of that, make sure to smash that like button as hard as you possibly can so that we make more videos like this on top of the usual stock market updates. So now to understand where Ethereum is going over the next few weeks, we first have to take a look at the king of cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin. And if we understand where Bitcoin is going over the next few weeks, then we can potentially set some targets for Ethereum in its coming rally. So where is Bitcoin in its bull market cycle? It's been an aggressive uptrend, and more recently, it has made a nice dip and is starting to emerge out of this consolidation range. Now, can it come back lower? Absolutely. But ultimately, we do think Bitcoin is set to go higher, and I'm going to show you why in just a second. Bitcoin's bull markets revolve around a 4-year cycle around the Bitcoin halving. And so every 4 years, the number of Bitcoins that come into circulation, so the supply of Bitcoins is cut in half. That is the big argument around the cyclical nature of Bitcoin. And that is something that the technical picture does support extremely well. All these bull markets are centered around the halvings, which occurred in 2012 and 2016, and I believe this year it was May 2020. So you can see these bull markets form around those halving events, and based on our calculations, based on previous bull markets and the current price action, we believe Bitcoin is going to reach at least $100,000 before topping. And that's what we've been talking about on GameOfTrades.net with our members. That's going to be the moment where we start to look for an exit strategy on our investments at around $100,000. Now, along that bull market cycle, you will get dips along the way, right? You will get big dips. Each of these dips were around 20 to 30% drops in Bitcoin, and investors need to be aware of that and need to be prepared to take advantage of that. And that's also been one of our big targets on the crypto bull market, is to take advantage of those dips with our members. So on each of those dips, you can see in October, we posted a video called Bitcoin Bull Market Investment Setup. In December, on that next dip, we made an article called Bitcoin Opportunity of the Decade, Ethereum Investment Setup. And more recently in January, in the recent dip that we had, we made an article called Bitcoin Investment Case 2021, the rise of an asset class. Now, if you're interested in finding out more about our investment strategies, knowing our exact entries, our exact exits for investments, for trade setups, make sure to go and check out GameOfTrades.net. We do have a free trial for the pro version, so don't hesitate to check that out if you're interested. And we do believe that this is still the opportunity to buy the dip on Bitcoin, right? We're slowly starting to emerge out of this consolidation. So if you're not invested in Bitcoin and you want to be invested in Bitcoin, this is a good place to do it. Now, can it reverse and come back down again? Yes, and we will be posting articles on buy the dip setups when we get there. But if you're waiting and waiting for a dip and you never actually position, then you run a huge opportunity cost of missing out the next big rally, which based on both the technicals and the fundamentals is very likely to occur. Now, what you typically see after a major bottom in Bitcoin is around a 150% rally from that bottom to the next top. And I'm going to show you what I mean by taking a look at the previous bull market. Let's step back a little bit and we'll take this as an example from that bottom right here to the top, around 140% move. You can take this as an example right here, from that bottom to the top, around 180% move. So it ranges between around 150% to around 200%, but we'll call it 150% to be conservative. And we can even check out if that's the case in this current bull market. This November bottom was a significant bottom. Let's see, from that bottom to the top here, that was a 150% move from that bottom to the top. So if we see that type of rally on Bitcoin, if Bitcoin has bottomed, and it does look like that's the case, like it's bottoming right now, nothing is 100%, but if that is the bottom, from that bottom to the next top is around 150% move to $70,000. So that is our target for the next couple of months on Bitcoin, is around $70,000, and that will not yet be the top of the bull market. To confirm the fact that Bitcoin is really in its next rally, we want it to break above $38,000. Once it's broken above this high right here, this little candlestick wick on the daily chart at around $38,000, once it takes that out, it's set to go much, much higher. But that is still resistance, so if it fails here, we could go down for another leg down. That's not something that we're trying to predict. The short-term price action on Bitcoin is incredibly difficult to predict, so that's not our objective here. Our objective is to buy dips and hold until $100,000, where we'll figure out our exit strategy on both Bitcoin and Ethereum. So now that we have a short-term target for Bitcoin, what is going to be happening on Ethereum in the next few weeks on this current rally that we're seeing? And again, that does suppose that Bitcoin has bottomed. And to look at how Ethereum is going to perform compared to Bitcoin, we can divide Ethereum by Bitcoin and take a look at the ratio of outperformance between Ethereum and Bitcoin. And you can see this was the end of that 2016 to 2017 bull market. And you can see Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin towards the end of the bull market. That's the phase that we believe we're currently in, where Ethereum starts to really outperform Bitcoin in that last phase. So we were looking on the site at two big resistance levels that have now been taken out. This resistance right here at 0.04, this resistance right here, and this resistance right here, that have now both been cleared. And you can see what's happening right now. It's really starting to make an impulsive move through that level and take out that resistance, which is the last major line of resistance. The next one is right here on this bottom, but we don't think that outperformance is going to be stopping until Ethereum at least reaches this resistance right here. And we will be booking some profits on Ethereum at these levels, either into precious metals or into Bitcoin, depending on where Bitcoin is at in its bull market cycle. That is a viewpoint that is dynamic for us. So what kind of outperformance would that mean from current levels? We can measure that out from current levels all the way to that target is around an 85% outperformance of Ethereum to Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin moves up 150% and Ethereum outperforms Bitcoin 85%, then that could potentially set Ethereum up for around a 300% move from current levels, just under, so we'll call it a 250% move. So considering Ethereum is currently at $1,700, if we see a 250% move from current levels, we're going to put log scale on this chart to see that properly. That would take Ethereum up to around $6,000. So that's the magnitude of the move that we could see right now on Ethereum. That's very difficult to wrap your head around, that kind of move, but that is the kind of target that we're looking at on Ethereum for this bull market. And depending on how quickly we get there, we'll be extending that target along the way. Of course, our analysis is dynamic, and as we reach the end of the bull market in Bitcoin, we will be looking at exit strategies no matter what the price is on Ethereum, even if it hasn't hit our target. This is just to get an idea of the magnitude of the move that we could see. We're not here to take advantage of every last penny. We're trying to take advantage of the big chunk of the move. And that's something that so far we've been able to do. And by keeping our expectations conservative, we believe we can manage a pretty safe exit strategy. Now, one question that we do need to ask is, does that kind of outperformance on Ethereum, now going back to that Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, does that kind of outperformance on Ethereum make sense in terms of where we are in the cycle? And the answer is absolutely yes. And one big reason for that is that the bull market cycle on Bitcoin towards the end of that cycle starts to get more and more speculative. So as you start to get away from that halving and you start to get towards the top, you start to see more and more retail interest in Bitcoin and people flooding in at the top. That's the typical bubble price action. So are we in that phase? And the answer is yes. And we can take a look at Google Trends to take a look at that by typing Bitcoin on Google Trends, and you'll see this was the interest in the keyword Bitcoin back in 2017 towards the top of that bull market. And for now, we still haven't seen those same levels. So we still have quite a while to go before we're at that same speculative phase of the market. And what happens when you do have that speculation come into the crypto market? You start to see other cryptocurrencies outperform Bitcoin. And that's something that we clearly saw back in this bull market, is that Ethereum didn't do anything throughout this entire period. And it's only much after the halving in that final stage that Ethereum really started to take off. And that's something that we're seeing right now as well. I'm going to put Ethereum on top right here. So that kind of messes up the chart. So you can see this is Bitcoin, the bull market, and you can see Ethereum doesn't do anything after the halving, doesn't do much. And there it starts to really take off in that final speculative phase where the retail investors really start to show some interest in Bitcoin. So it does make sense in terms of the timing of what we're seeing. This is the moment where Ethereum is set to outperform Bitcoin. And another big reason that we have behind our bullish case for Ethereum is that we believe that Ethereum actually has more potential than Bitcoin to play a significant role in the modern financial system. And we may actually see Ethereum's market cap overtake Bitcoin's in the next few years. Maybe not this Bitcoin bull market, maybe the next one, but we do believe that's something that's going to be happening, and that's known as the flippening. So if you want to research that in more detail, you can look that up on Google. But that's about all I wanted to cover in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. In the meantime, good luck on your trading and see you next time.
So, you want to invest in the cryptocurrency market, but you don't know where to start? Welcome to the Covesting module on PrimeXBT. The Covesting module helps investors and talented cryptocurrency traders find each other. With an easy-to-use interface, you can compare and replicate successful strategies with a proven track record. You can follow multiple trading strategies to diversify your risk. Covesting module on PrimeXBT. They trade, you profit.